I want to feel like I belong. But every memory pulls me deeper. Into loneliness and solitude. It triggers a pain that cuts deeper than words can explain. You rescued me from darkness.
To see the light. No, I won't boast, but in the cross I saved my soul. All else is lost. The grip of fear has no hold.
Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever bring. We live for you. We live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to
closed doors, it's real and raw. There's no pretense, just honest prayers. My deepest thoughts, my hidden storms, my brokenness, you know it all. So here I come, undone as your love disarms the inner wars that hide your peace. It's still my heart to know you're still in control. Jesus, have your way in me. And hear my cry, Lord, hold you now. Remind me, God, of who you are. Behind closed doors, defenses down. Lord, set my feet on higher ground. So here I come, undone as your love disarms the inner wars that hide your peace. And still my heart to know you're still in control. Jesus, have your way in me, Lord. Jesus, have your way in me, Lord. Sin, I'm letting go, and I'm letting go to let you lead, 'cause you know all that I need. So I'll trust in you when I can't see, 'cause you know what's best for me. I'm letting go, so I'm letting go to let you lead, 'cause you know all that I need. So I'll trust in you when I can't see, 'cause you know what's best for me. Here I come, so here I come, undone as your love disarms the inner wars that hide your peace. And still my heart to know you're still in control. And Jesus, have your way in me. So here I come, undone as your love disarms the inner wars that hide your peace. And still my heart to know you're still in control. And Jesus, have your way in me.
Wow, what an amazing presence of God from our praise and worship team from Australia. Next up, we're going to have a Q&A panel, so sit back and enjoy.
All right, welcome guys to Crossversation Live. So right here on the panel today, we have 5 very special guests that will be sharing their experiences, their journey as a creative. So let's welcome them. First, we have Rabago. Hi, Rabago.
Hey guys,
And
nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too. And next, we have Marcus as well. Marcus.
Really.
Hey. And Charlene. Hi,
Hi
Charlene.
guys.
And then we have Jingyi, or better
Hey
known as
guys.
DJ Ash. Yep. And last but not least, we have Brenna.
Hello, how's it going?
All right. Thanks, guys, for coming on to the show today. Thank you guys so much. I know we're really just going to have such a good time together today. Going to be discussing a lot about your individual journeys, and then we're just going to open this up to the floor for maybe some questions. But maybe first and foremost, maybe we could start with give a little context to everyone. How did you actually start your creative journey? So maybe we can start with Raps. Raps, would you like to share?
Yeah, sure. So I'm part of the band that is called Hansel. It's from Mexico City. I'm actually from a small town in Mexico called Tampico, like the juice, like the orange juice, if you know it. So we started back in 2013. Just a couple guys with some big dreams, trying to make a way in a music journey. And one of my cousins, he used to work in an agency, like a social agency for like actors and influencers and that kind of stuff. So he introduced us to a major artist that he wanted to start making her own music industry business. So we started opening for like huge artists in Mexico, like touring with them and playing everywhere in Mexico. And yeah, it was tough at the beginning, being the new guys in the field, and just like overwhelming because there's a lot going on in the like secular music industry.
Wow, so sounds like that's been quite a journey that you have so far. That's how you got started with your music career and all that, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear from Marcus. Marcus, could you share a little bit more about how you got started as a visual creative?
Hi. Yeah. So I'm currently working. I founded Small Films, my current production house. We work on all kinds of projects, and I'm also working as a full-time filmmaker in this nonprofit called TERS. Yeah. So I actually started when I was 17 years old, and I'm currently 25 this year, just turned 25. And yeah. So when I was 17, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea I was gonna go into filmmaking. I have no idea I was gonna do photography and all that. But it was also when I converted to Christianity. Yeah, I found out who God is. He changed my life and everything. And yeah, so the first thing I did was as a Christian was I went to a church camp, a youth church camp, and so happened the camp was called Surrender Camp. Yeah, so I was a very strong gamer. I was a vivid gamer, sponsored somewhere in Singapore, and at the camp, God spoke to me and He told me, would I be willing to surrender what's precious to me, precious to myself, for God. And yeah, so being a new Christian, I had no idea what that means, but I just felt a very strong presence that God was there, and He was serious about it, and I want to be serious about it. So yeah, I just like surrendered gaming, and like I had no idea what I was like going into, so I just like surrendered everything. And the next thing you know, God was actually preparing me in the creative field. I started going to schools, like I went to IT. I did filmmaking there as well. In the army, I did filmmaking as well. And after army, I also did filmmaking in school. So like God was just slowly preparing me in the creative field. I had no idea what I was getting into, but yeah, I think opportunities just kept coming, and just so thankful after that. Yeah, so that was how I became and started like as a creative when I was 17. Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like God really turned your eyes towards something else aside from gaming.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's have Shirlene to share next. Hi, Shirlene.
Hi Melvin, hey guys. I'm the founder of Honor Makeup. So how I started was I actually worked in the corporate field for a good 6 to 7 years, and I've been seeing like a lot of friends around me. They are actually their own like girl boss. So they started out having their own business, and for me it's like, hey, I see everyone is succeeding in their own field, and why am I working so hard? As an account manager, as a marketing agent, as a marketing manager for an agency, who doesn't value my work. So I told myself, before I reach the age of 30, I want to have my own business, just like some of my friends. So at the age of 28 and a half, that year, God actually prepared a way for me in a way which I didn't understand back then. I was more or less, asked to leave my corporate job after working in it for 2 years, and I didn't have a backup plan. So for 2.5 months after I was asked to leave, I actually fell into a deep depression. There's no backup plan. I attended many different interviews, but there wasn't any open doors for me, and I just fell into a depression. So one day I stumbled upon this makeup course online. It was like an orientation for people who wanted to find out more whether this can be a possible path for you. So I attended that orientation, and lo and behold, I just paid $100, on that spot to really, just grab a spot, because I do not know what I want to do. But if this is something which I could potentially explore and make it into like a business, yeah, go for it. So after I signed up for the orientation, I actually attended Awaken Generation. It is a part-time music and mentorship program, graduation day, and that night God actually confirmed that go ahead with this makeup course, go ahead with this makeup business, and I will give you the name for your business, and it's called Honor, Honour. And he confirmed it 3 times on the same day during the graduation program, which was why, that day onward, I actually branded and named my business Honor Makeup. And right now it has been close to 2.5 years in this industry, and I've had many opportunities to work with not just brides, production films, commercials, but even with celebrities as well. So I just want to thank God for this opportunity, for this my own business, and I know that this is only the start of my Honor initiative. Yeah, so that is how everything started.
Wow, sounds quite the journey actually. Because actually you never told me about this part before. So for those that are watching, actually, we actually do share some similarities in that sense that I also chose to leave the corporate world without a proper plan. So that was really, yeah. I mean, for those that are watching, you probably would have heard my testimony already. So if you haven't, you can go back and catch it after this. So yeah, okay. Thanks for sharing, Shirlene. Thank you so much. All right, next up we have Jing Yi, DJ Ash in the house.
Awesome. Hi, guys. Okay, I think my own journey started really young. I'm not, like a DJ, since like a DJ prodigy, but I think I started when I was about 5 years old. Yeah, and that was actually playing the keys, all right, so playing the piano. And I started at a really young age. And while growing up in, like as a teenager, I started, getting like really influenced by, the current circular music culture of like EDM, trap music, like the latest beats lah, but through it all, like I'm not the kind of guy that like likes to go to the club, even though I love like clubbing music, So I couldn't find that, way to kind of resonate. How can I combine both of them together? Like even though I enjoy the music so much, but I think it was only when I was about 18 years old, going 19, when I started. Also, I mean, before that, I've already been attending like church camps, but it was during that moment when I just thought of, wouldn't it be amazing, to elevate the praise culture in the church by combining and mixing, circular EDM music that has a good spirit behind it, together with the current praise songs, and remix them and, just hype the people up to a greater level of praise. Yeah, so I started that when I was 19. And the amazing thing was, I just felt led to. I just went to my greatest teacher, Mr. Google, and that just started everything. So like self-taught, really there's no teacher. At the point of time, there wasn't even like Planet Boom, or there wasn't even any other main youth-related, I would say, praise parties at that time. Yeah, at that time. So that was quite a few years back. Yeah, but now like I could really see the Lord just elevating that praise, and I think it's been an amazing journey. Yeah, so just want to share that with you guys.
Wow, thank you for sharing that, DJ Ash. I think what you really did is really brave. It's really something different. A lot of people wouldn't have thought of, let's use maybe say rave music, clubbing music to praise God, and to have that kind of perspective back then. I think it was very, very for you to pursue it. Actually, it's very, very brave. Immediately I get this sense of like a Joshua spirit inside of you, that you wanted to do this, and thank you so much for really doing that, so that we really have we have this so-called avenue to explore today in the way that we praise and worship God, you know. Yeah, thank you for being one of the pioneers to really do that. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Let's have Brenna to share. Let's have Brenna. Brenna.
Yes. Hi.
Thank you. Yeah.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Brenna, and I am a self-proclaimed singer-songwriter. I've always written songs. My parents like to say that I came out of the womb singing, so it's just something that's always brought me joy and peace and comfort in good times and bad times. And so growing up, you start to feel like maybe the music careers or the big dreams aren't the safe ones. And so for a while I tried to choose the safe path. I went to a 4-year university and I was getting my degree in business and marketing, but I was really unhappy. And so I was on a retreat with my church that I found at this campus, and we had gone hiking in the woods to this really pretty waterfall. And I was sitting there and I was crying because I really wanted to just drop out of school, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. And I was questioning God about it, and he kind of questioned me back, and he was like, no, but like, what do you want to do with your life? And if I was really, really honest with myself, I was going to say songwriting or something with music. But I was scared of that. And so God kind of challenged me and said, is there anything that I can't do through you? And I was like, well, no. So I actually ended up finishing my 4-year degree. This was about like a year and a half into my schooling. And then after I graduated, I moved to LA to chase those dreams. And I actually had applied for an internship that I ended up not getting. And that was really confusing because it was in the music industry, and I felt really strongly like God telling me to apply and to go. And I did, and it didn't work out. And so it basically brought me on this now 4-year journey of being in LA, serving in a church out here on the worship team, and then stepping away from that to then pursue songwriting on my own, which has been really scary. But with the lockdown and everything that's happened this year, I felt like there was nothing holding me back from just doing something and putting something out there. And it's been an incredible journey so far.
I am absolutely amazed at how you did not have a passion for marketing and business, and you still put through those 4 years.
Yeah, it was hard.
How do you even do that? Yeah, so I mean, okay, so it's okay, because from what I know about LA, I heard that for artists, even though it's one of the most creative, most talented areas in the United States, but it's also extremely competitive. I hear of how stories all the time about auditions, the dropout rates, and all that kind of things. And it seems like also you had to deal with certain rejections that have come your way as well. So while you were going through all those things, like maybe what was at the back of your mind, and how do you really like process that portion in your journey?
Yeah, I think what was going through my mind really was, why? Why am I here? obviously, you know, I trusted God to put myself out there and be out here. And when things weren't working out, it was kind of like, well, you know, what was the point of all of that? And stepping out of my comfort zone, because our comfort zone is very safe and comfortable. But what really got me through it was kind of, I think it was mostly God just putting people in my life who were doing the things that I wanted to be doing, but that I wasn't there yet, and kind of opening doors through relationships, which are really important to me. Yeah, and it's crazy, like even now, my first 2 projects that I released were actually with people that I met through the church that I started going to here, and they're really good friends of mine. So, and we're both like, it's like a mutually beneficial project to be able to work with people who are on the same level as you. And so it's just crazy that seeing now, like looking back, how many doors got opened just by putting me in position to build relationships with the right people.
So you really just kind of look for a community, look for people to connect with in that time when you were feeling a little bit down, and to just really come back to church, to come back to people that you know you could trust, you could depend on, that you could find a safe space with, and really I think that is really just so important in the work that we do as creatives. I think a lot of the times that we do what we do, sometimes we may feel that we are just, you know, working alone, or like it feels like God has given us such a special and unique call that sometimes we forget that actually we are not alone in this, that even though maybe we are called to be a singer or a songwriter, but also God has called other like-minded individuals that are also there, that they are also could be also singers, songwriters, musicians that can kind of aid us in this journey. And sometimes we forget that, and we just want to just dwell in our own caves, you know. Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, or do you have anything else to add about that?
Oh no, I was just
Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's amazing, and I think as artists we always need to be on the lookout. We need to be on looking for other people that can help us or aid us, right? I know for Marcus, when he first started his company, Small Films, he got a couple of like-minded individuals to just jump into this, right? So
Yeah.
so Marcus, you want to share about that?
Yeah, so like I totally agree with what Melvin said. Like, I think it's really important, like especially for myself to, you know, to be around like-minded people, to be around people with the same heart and the same mindset as I had, in order to, like, you know, like do what I want to do. Yeah, so like, what I did was, like, you know, I was just in church and I was just talking to a bunch of friends, like, hey, you guys got into photography and kind of thing. You want to do something together? Yeah, and like, you know, they were all very excited about it when I shared them my heart and my passion, and yeah, so we just started, like, you know, talking about photography, talking about what we love doing, but at the same time doing it for God as well. You know, like, every project may not have that God element in it, but we try our best to, you know, like, implement to it. You know, when someone asks, like, so how do you guys start up? And it's like, oh, we are from church. That gave us the opportunity to talk about God. You know, like, hey, we're from church. We do this in church. We picked up our skills in church. Yeah, fun fact, I actually, like, picked up my videography skills in church before school. So, like, I think it's really amazing, like, how, like, you know, like, God doesn't use the people to build the church, but use the church to build the people. Yeah, so like, I think it's the same thing I want to have for Small Films, is that we don't use people to build this production house, but we use the production house to build the people, so that we can be equipped, right, to, you know, really go out to the world and share content, you know, to make content and kind of thing. So it's really amazing, like, like, you know, to have like-minded people running alongside with me lah. Yeah, I think like running alone, I can only go so far, but I think with people by my side, I can go really far. Yeah, so yeah, that's how Small Field has been running. Yeah.
Wow. That is actually, yeah, that is the story of community. And I think, you know, Gen Conference, what we're all doing in this conference is really trying to build that platform, a community of creatives that have a like-minded vision, that are using their gifts, their talents, their abilities to really connect with people. And then also with that connection, we from that connection we move on to, you know, create new things like what you mentioned that you're doing at Small Films, that we don't just stay within our own silos, but we find other people, other like-minded individuals, and then we really work on something, you know. When I think about silos right now, I just want to go back to the point with DJ Ash, where he mentioned about how he learned his DJing skills on his own. How was that experience for you? Was it difficult? Because it sounds like you really had to just pick up everything on your own. And then maybe just share with us a little bit more on that aspect. Yeah.
Yes, definitely the learning curve is pretty steep, like right at the start. You know, I started off with free DJ apps that you can get, you know, on like your laptop, you know, and I didn't have any equipment. I didn't have the drop tables. I didn't have anything, you know, and all I had was really like that conviction from the Lord. And I guess that's where it birthed forth from. Like the conviction that, you know, I really believe that, you know, praise is meant to be wow, it's meant to be passionate, and it's meant not only, you know, for Christian music, but also secular music can be a channel, you know, and I just kept ringing my mind, you know, and I went, you know, YouTube, I spent really long hours just trying to learn the skill, you know, trying to get like the latest tips. But the most interesting thing is no one is going to tell you how to mix Christian music with secular music. Am I right? Yeah, so that I think has been like my biggest challenge. But in fact, the greatest time that I could experience the Lord was when I hit those roadblocks, you know, because like I really could feel that grace and an anointing being given to me, you know, to really learn how to mix both of them together. Because, you know, for your information, right, it's actually more difficult to mix Christian music than secular music because of like the beats per minute, the song choice, the genre. So like honestly, Christian music, okay, just like additional information, it's like rock, right? Mainly rock, you know, but secular music is like EDM, it's like trap, and it's hard to merge them together. But I guess that's when like the grace of the Lord really came in. And yeah, so that's how I kind of overcome them really through the Lord.
Wow, amazing. You know, there's definitely someone else on this panel that also has a lot of experience mixing music. I think we all know who that is from being in a band. Raps, do you want to share how is it like to work with people, you know, when you because I think as much as people can be our form of support, sometimes, you know, we might also maybe, I don't know, do you run into difficulty when we work with people? Do you face some challenges because you are in a band, right? So sometimes were there conflicts arising out of maybe certain situations you guys didn't agree, and how do you kind of resolve that and all that? Yeah.
Totally. Actually, I wasn't even planned to sing in my band. I was just the drummer, and one day we were recording our first EP, and we were like, okay, we have everything. Let's do it. Okay, keys check, guitar check, vocalist, where is he? And he called us and he was like, listen, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna be part of the band anymore. And I was like, really? Like, today you're gonna do this? Anyways, I was like, you know, I sing every day at church. Like DJ Ash said, self-taught. Every day, Google all the tools that you can get. So me and my brother, that he is in the band, we sang. And that was our first EP. We changed our name that day. like we started a new band that day in the studio. So it is difficult, but that kind of conflicts takes you to learn more. I wanted to do also visuals from the band, like for the live band, and nobody got our vision for the visuals. So I was like, okay, YouTube, let's download After Effects. I'm gonna start doing it. So yeah, basically self-taught, a lot of patience, and yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned how you and your brother had kind of a little different vision from the rest of your band members, and really to just put out that vision took you guys in not just a totally different direction, but also it meant that you kind of have to work that out on your own for both of you guys, because you guys kind of diverged in a sense. But I mean it kind of feels like maybe God is calling you towards that direction. He's calling you towards a certain, and pulling and tugging you towards a different direction, and you really just had that heart to really just respond and just be allowed and allow the Holy Spirit to just tug you in that way, you know?
Yeah, totally. We actually started in our church. And since I'm a PK, shout out to all the PKs in the room, in the chat. So everybody has an expectation in you. Like, they're looking to you to be the new preacher and to be the next pastor. But we had our own vision that we saw from an article about an evangelist talking about not creating more Christian bands. Like, stop being the fish looking at other fishes in the same fishbowl. Like, somebody needs to get in the world and be the salt of the world, like God says, and be the light in the darkness. And we were like, okay, God, like, sounds good for us. And we started making music with good message that people could have hear, like in a bar, in a club, in wherever they are, and just like having God talking through our music. And yeah, Hensel means actually mercy of God in Hebrew. So that's like our main vision, like wherever God takes us in our journey as a band, it's gonna be because of the mercy of God. So
wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. What a backstory to the name of your brand. I mean, to the name of your band and your brand, I guess, in a way. Yeah. It's just, yeah, because you guys really answered that call to be salt and light, and I just really kind of see it so more evidently right now when you explain it that way. And I think when God gives you that vision, he really draws you towards it. And I think at first maybe we don't really know where we're going with this. I think Shirlene has something to share about this in this regard, so maybe I'll just let her share more about this. Shirlene, yeah, you wanna tell us more?
Yep, sure. So for me, I think it was during COVID this year, okay, that it was early February, if I'm not wrong. So in Singapore, it's like, oh, okay, COVID is kind of like a serious issue, and I think government, they are planning to do something before we had a circuit breaker in March, late March towards or April. So that period of time, I actually received zero job, which means zero income. You know, for us artists, like makeup artists especially, it's like we are trading time for money. Every time we receive an engagement, it means, you know, income, it means money. But during that period, it was totally like loss of jobs, loss of income, and loss of customers, which means I literally have to survive on my savings. And I actually prayed to God, if there's a way he can actually, you know, pivot me to the online space, do it, God, do it. Because backtrack 2 months ago in December 2019, I had three brides back to back, and I worked for over 14 hours. I started my day at 3 a.m. dolling up a bride and ended around 7 p.m. without any break. So I had to rush from one location to the next, 3 brides back to back. And by the time I reached from around 7 plus, I just almost I almost died. You know, it's like my spirit, my soul was like, you know, coming out of my body. I felt like it was a very close to near death experience, and I just prayed to God. My life has barely started. I want to have my own family. I want to be a mom. I still have unfulfilled ambition, unfulfilled dreams to do. Will give me a second chance and pivot me to the online space so that I can serve more people instead of just serving a one-to-one. Because for a makeup artist, usually most of the time you're doing a one-to-one service. So I wanted to scale up my business, not just for makeup, but in the online space as well. So that was the backstory. And yes, God gave me a second chance. So, fast track to February when everything was more serious in Singapore when it comes to COVID. Again, I fell into my second depression in life. Yeah, it's so funny, right? Every time I have this depression, it's like God somewhat pivoted me to the space which I've never thought that, you know, I would land myself in. So during that 1 to 2 months period when I was having a lot of self-defeating thoughts, negative thoughts, why am I in this situation? Why am I a makeup artist? Why am I doing freelancing? Why am I a freelancer? Why am I having my own business? Like, I've been having so many questions about doubts about God. Why is he placing me in a space whereby, he's not helping me to move forward? So there was this one time my husband actually told me, if you want to do something, just do it. Even if you are in the wrong path, God will pick you up. God will pivot you. God will bring you back to where he wants you to do. He will bring you back to the center of his will. So because of that day, I actually started to take up online program, online course. During that period, I see that there's so many people who actually, become more tech savvy. They took up like online courses, online programs, which are even out of their comfort zone. So for myself, I took up this course called Knowledge Broker Blueprint. It's by Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. It was actually teaching you how to leverage on other people's expertise and knowledge, and to really bring authority and influence to your own brand, to yourself. It's basically asking you to become a knowledge reporter, like what you guys are doing here, bring together the expertise, creatives in the field, and asking them to share about, their experiences and how they are glorifying God in their field of work. So similar for myself, that was how I actually started my virtual submit production. So during the whole 6 months period from March to September, I produced 2 international virtual submits, and I brought together over 48 speakers across the world. And I produced over 2 professional videos. And that was how I actually pivoted, from just being a makeup artist to the online space, branding myself as a virtual submit producer. And right now I'm an online entrepreneur helping small businesses with social media and so virtual submits production. So I think this is only the beginning of what God is actually using me, for his glory. Like what DJ Marcus, they have shared. It's like God is really asking us to be the salt and light. He has placed us, in this world for a purpose. And I think we really just got to be brave, to be bold, to be courageous, to answer that call. And even if we take that step forward, even if we fail, God will bring us back to where he has called us to be. So I believe that, this is something that the younger generation can actually learn from, some of the experts over here as well. It's really to be courageous, to take a step forward, to be bold and answer that call. Yeah.
That is such an amazing sharing, Shirlene. Thank you so much. And I think when you shared about how you were just struggling to make ends meet in the way where you had really finite resources, in the sense that you were just one person working on whatever you really love to do. I think God brings us to our passions firstly, so we know what we're good at, what he wants us to do. But also after that, it kind of seems as well that he begins to give you like a little talent, if I would say. Like he starts off with makeup, and then after that he adds to it. He adds maybe say because you just made that commitment to go for a course to understand more about a certain thing, learn about a new thing. So it's like in that time, I see it as God adding that additional talent to you. So now you have like 2 talents, and then after that it became more and more, because like in God's kingdom, it's about less about addition and more about multiplication. And when you are faithful in just using that one talent over and over again, he begins to add to you another talent and another talent. And at the end of the day, as creatives, really we are just stewards of all the talents that God has given us. And really, when he comes back and he calls us back, you know, good and faithful servant, what have you done with all the things that, it's not, I have helped X number of brides do their makeup. I have helped, I've produced this number of songs, written this number of songs. At the end of the day, it's not about that. Really, at the end of the day, God is really looking out for how many lives have you touched with the talents and the gifts that I've given to you. You know, how many people have you impacted? How many people have you won for Christ as a result of the gifts, the talents, the equippings that I've given to you? And you know what you shared is so good that, you know, alone, maybe when we just think that we only have, because all of us, we only have 24 hours a day, you know, and if we're just limited to just what we can do alone in this finite space, we miss out on the opportunities that are in the online space, you know, the reach and the influence that you have gained as a result of doing Honor Summit. It is something, it's really a multiplication, because now you're able to reach so many people at the same time. And I just feel that, you know, with this new age, with this new what's it called? Sorry, this new is this age of digital transformation where we're going into, really we're gonna see a lot of things change differently for the way that we do church, the way that we reach out to people, the way that we can really make an impact in someone else's lives. Yeah, amen. Yeah, it is so good what you shared. It is so good what you shared.
Thanks, Melvin. In
Yeah.
fact, 2 days ago, I was just having a chat with one of my friends who became my client as well. I'm helping her with social media marketing. So she was sharing with me, actually for us Christians, right, we shouldn't even be defined by our label, whether you're a musician, you're a DJ, you know, you're a songwriter, or, you know, you are just like a graphic designer. We are more than our labels. So in a sense, for us creative, right, when God bless us with one talent, you know, in any of the arenas that we are working on, even for myself, makeup artist, he can actually, you know, pivot and use our skills with a creative eye in the online space as well. So for me, rather than just, you know, drawing out the beauty, you know, in people for brides, for my select friends, you know, I am also drawing out the beauty, you know, for like online coaches, for small business owners, for small businesses, because I'm helping them to actually transform and transit their ideas, their visions into actual business growth. So even for, you know, those of you who are watching, the same thing can apply to your life as well. It doesn't have to necessarily be restricted to just one area. God will be able to expand your influence, you know, your talents and your reach to even more people if you allow him. Yeah, so that was the conversation me and my friend has been having in the past 2 nights, and that actually gave me like a revelation. It's like we cannot and we will not be defined by our labels.
Amazing. You know, I mean, we could go on and on and on, but really at this point of time, I just wanna ask, okay, like, because we've gathered such a variety of creatives on this forum today. I just want to ask, you know, if you guys have any questions you want to ask each other, like, now is the time for that, you know, now is the time for that. If you got, just open up your mics, be free. Let's just begin to ask, you know, hey, just come and share, just come and, you know, if you guys have anything, I'll come. Let's do this. Anyone?
Awesome. I'll go first then.
All right.
I think the question I want to ask is to Brenna and also to Raps, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So like, how is it like, you know, I mean, because like really serving the Lord and being a creative in your own country, because I think, you know, most of us are from like the Asian side of things. Like, how is it like, you know, like being in like a Western culture that is more prevalent, you know, that is more pro creativity, you know, like how is it like in that space to still bring like Christ in the culture for you guys? Oh, I think any one of you guys can go first.
I guess I can share. I've actually, so growing up, I went to church and I actually started singing in the church at like 6, I think. And with my parents, we used to just listen to like Christian music all the time and like in the car. But then at school and with my friends, I went to a church or a school that was not Christian. And so most of my friends were also not Christians. And it was really hard to share my love of music with them if I couldn't find that that go-between. And so I started branching out more to listening to secular music. Adele really rocked my world with just the honesty that she brought to music, and I it started then wondering how I could connect the two worlds, my two worlds at least, with bringing music that's honest and relatable to all of my friends, and that could get them through anything really, and then also bringing the faith aspect to it, because that was so important to me and how I even got through a lot of the stuff that I've been through in life. So I think in American culture, it is a lot more, well, I guess in culture as a whole, it's a lot more, what's the word? Encouraged to branch out and be creative. But in certain subcultures, it can be challenging, especially in Black culture and I'm sure you guys have seen everything that's going on in the world. It's more of a struggle or a fight to get other people to value what you have to offer sometimes. And for that reason, it held me back for a long time from actually being creative and putting things out there. But I think if there's any universal language for the entire world, it's probably music, and being able to communicate through songs. So I don't think that there's anything that God can't do in any creative arena, but yeah, it's kind of stepping outside of culture really to, I guess, would be my perspective on that.
Great
Yeah,
sharing.
totally.
Great sharing. Yeah, Raps, please go ahead.
Yeah, as Brenna was saying, honestly, Western culture is also about bringing other people down or comparing people, like your talent to other talents. So in our early days, it was like that. A lot of people like in the music industry, like just came to us and they were like, who do you think you are? Like, are you don't believe that you're like reinventing music, because you're not. Because we came like with ideas, like we used to admire like Coldplay, Switchfoot. I mean, lots of bands that make like things crazy, and like they have visuals and like fireworks in their concerts, and we're like, we're gonna do that. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're not gonna make the normal mainstream music. Like DJ Ash is like doing crazy sounds and DJ with worship. We wanted to make that with our music. Like, we're gonna take good message to a next level where people are enjoying a show. So we came with a lot of people saying like, who do you think you are? And we're like, we are not the best singers. We're not the best band or players, but we have God. Like, we have God in our backs, like pushing us. So we're gonna get there. Like, if God wants us to go in our path and like keep moving on, He's gonna open doors. And He has been like supporting us like every day. In every concert, He is there. Like, yeah.
So you really just have to just stick it out on your own, even though there may be so many external voices trying to pull you down, trying to tell you who you're not. But I think as long as we're confident in the identity that we have of ourselves, we're confident of the call that we have ourselves. That's when you really just focus and just zoom in on the call that God has given you. And I think that's really what you've done with your band, the one that you start with your brother. Okay. Yeah, I I guess we still have time. We still have time. Does anyone else have any questions that they want to ask the other panelists? Anyone?
I have one for DJ Ash.
All right.
Sure.
I was really encouraged and inspired by your drive to teach yourself how to even mix music for yourself. I'm a songwriter, but I don't play an instrument, and it's kind of absurd. But luckily, I have met a lot of cool people who have loaned me their musical expertise. But I really want to teach myself how to play piano or how to like produce music. So, what were the most helpful resources for you in that arena?
Awesome. I would love you to learn the piano. We always need more keyboardists in the band. Yeah, but having said that, I think like picking up a new instrument or pick up a new skill, like previously in the past, it was very teacher student kind of way, or like mentor, way of learning. But I think for myself, like it really started, I mean, like what I say, Google, like started Googling on the different steps to take, like what do I need to do as for me DJs, but I'm going to cater it for you. So for piano, like maybe you can start off like by searching, like how do you get started with learning the piano? What are the different keys? What are the different chords? And like how do you start playing the piano? And from there you will see lots of videos. I think YouTube, there's a lot of videos that will teach you how to play like simple chords. Even I myself, even though I learned from a teacher like how to play the piano, I still go to YouTube, to learn, how to, play different chords, maybe like jazz chords or like blues chords, and to keep expanding my journey. And I think even in that area, it has also expanded. Like for me, like introducing new sounds to like my keyboard, like adding different layers, different pads, different effects to the sound. And all of it actually came from watching YouTube lah. And, so I'm a huge, avid learner of, you try your best to learn yourself. Of course, there are certain things that mentor would do best, like giving you tips that would accelerate maybe your learning process from like 1 year to like 2 months, but if you do not have, my greatest encouragement would be that there's so much content out there. Yeah, and even, in music production, which is an even steeper learning curve, which I got into that in my later years. So I think the past 2 years or so, and that was a really high learning curve, but really got to, learn right again from the basics. So I would say YouTube, Google, and those forum sites. Yeah, like those forum sites do add a lot of value, especially those that are asking like, how do I play this? And then there'll be like 10 people replying you, and you just got to choose the one the most likes. So yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you so much.
No problem, my pleasure.
I guess if you're looking for the specific sites, the channels, and all the really specific resources, maybe you can contact DJ Ash after this interview, and I think he'll be more than happy.
Yeah, I might have to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hit me up.
So we still have time for one more question. Anyone wishes us to just shoot that question? If not, I have one question that I really, really want to ask someone on the panel. Okay.
Shoot it, Melvin.
Oh, you want it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, because you talked about just back to DJ's Ash's point on YouTube. I think that's really big in our world today as a learning resource. So this question is definitely going to the people who help to make this happen, make this possible. Marcus, so how is it? Okay, because I think the challenge for a lot of creatives, especially for the ones of us who are not so maybe videographically inclined, or maybe we're not so good at editing, making videos, and sometimes we just want to put this content out for ourselves. What would be a way that you would advise those of us who are non-native videographers, video editors, so that we can kind of help put this content out easily, quickly, to share with others our experiences?
It's a good question. Yeah, so right, actually a lot, like I think a lot of my friends and a lot of my friends will ask me like, you know, I want to do a video, but where do I go? You know, like what do I need to do? Like Premiere Pro is so expensive. I need to buy this, I need to buy that, right? Yeah, but I think like I always tell my friends or like anyone, like first of all, like you don't really need a camera to do any kind of video. You just need your phone. I'm pretty sure like at least majority or everyone has a phone with a camera on it. You know, like I started off with no camera or I just had to borrow. Like I mean like I have friends who are willing to borrow me cameras or like just their phones to like let me do a short video about something, and like you pretty much just need that. And um also like in terms of editing software, you may not have a computer, you may not have an iPad, but you have your phone as well. You can edit it through your phone nowadays. You know, there are free softwares to just match pieces together and kind of thing. But of course like if you want like something more uh like I don't know, you want to do more like sophisticated editing, you need a cheaper computer. But I'm pretty sure like most of the computers nowadays, like you can just edit it for free as well lah. Like we have DaVinci Resolve, which is totally free software, which the professionals use it in the industry as well. Yeah, that's the one software that I would recommend to everybody to just edit. Yeah, you know, like I think what's important is to know that, you know, at times, right, we always allow what we don't have, you know, to stop us from doing what we can do. Yeah, and like I think we should change that mindset away, you know, like you don't need anything to be able to be creative. You know, you just be creative, you're creative, everyone's a creative, you know, God created us. You know, like God is a creative himself, you know. Yeah, so like he made like us in his image and all that, blah 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 kind of stuff, right? It's just like we need to have the mindset of like you know, like we shouldn't like allow what we don't have to stop us from doing what we can lah. Yeah, so like I would just tell people, you know, go with what you have, you know, go with what you have lah. Yeah, so I guess like that's like really like a simple message that I would like just tell everybody, you know, like stop thinking you need the most expensive gear. You don't need a $25,000 camera, you don't need a DSLR to do something amazing, because look at all the vloggers. Like they're using, most of them are, I'm pretty sure they're using their phones to just vlog their daily lives with like 50,000 views. You know, what's important is the story. You know, the story you want to tell, the message you want to hand over. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I would tell everybody. Yeah.
Do what you can and not what you can't, right?
Yes,
Do
yes,
what you
that's
can
right.
and not what you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
All right, let's not be too focused on the things that we don't have, the things that we don't have, don't possess. So
yeah,
and then we just use the things that, yeah, it's a really very valid point. Everyone has a what do you call it, a smartphone nowadays, and most smartphones have a decent camera. The specs in the phone actually do allow you to really just run a very simple editing software. Yeah, like what you said,
yeah.
I know of this YouTuber who teaches people how to use iMovie tricks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
yeah, I know that
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. It really aside from just having the so-called equipment or maybe the skills, I think what's also really important that if you have what you have right in front of you, are you courageous enough to just take whatever you have right with what you have right now and run with it, you know? Yeah. To just take that step of faith and to just take that dive, take that plunge to step into that creative arena. I think that is equally important as well. You
That's
know,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marcus, for sharing. Okay,
Thanks for
so
asking.
before we end this conversation, I think just one quick thing. I maybe just want everyone from each of the panelists to maybe just share one quick tip that you would say to maybe your younger self or to someone that's starting in your own field. Yeah, maybe we can start with Brenna.
Oh no. It's funny because I'm currently starting, so but I guess my biggest advice for my younger self would be to trust God's voice before the outside noise, and actually pursue the gifts that and the passions that He put inside of me before trying to please anyone else.
So good, so good. Raps.
I'm gonna give one big but small advices. Like Marcus and everyone said, just start with the things that you have. Just do it. Like big dreams take big blind steps. Just go for it. Never stop learning. You need to always be learning more and more. You're not gonna be the owner of the huge intelligence that you are doing. And also, how does your daily plans look for you to complete your dream? How's your schedule looking? Are you doing daily things to get to that dream? Or are you getting just entertained by other things? And final advice that I will give, just follow God's voice and trust Him. If it's God's will, He's gonna open or close doors. So just be in relationship, like in a strong relationship with Him, and He's gonna open doors.
Wow. To really just listen to His voice and answer His call. So good. DJ Ash.
Awesome. I think the advice that I'll give to my younger self, I think first and foremost, when I first started it, I'm very thankful for the call. But I think furthermore, I think one thing that I did, that really helped me in my younger self was that I note down all those verses that the Lord spoke over me when I'm entering this industry or I'm entering this new creative realm. Because like the most amazing thing is like that the only thing that is really immovable or changeable is this too, like the Lord and His word. So like whenever I go through tough times, I go through challenges like roadblocks, I can't find a video, that tells me how to mix, Christian music with secular music. I go back to that verse. And even till today, when I was just looking at my notes on my phone, I'm just so reminded like how the Lord spoke to me, when I was younger, how to, and where I am right now, He's still so faithful and He's really in full control. Yeah, so do take those, verses down, they're gonna bless you 10, 15 years down the road. And I think the second thing I want to, like a little tip for you guys is, I know people might often say, life is not a bed of roses, but I beg to disagree. It is a bed of roses. And why? Because like when you dive into that bed of roses, you get pricked by the thorns. Yeah, you get pricked by them, and you realize that, hey, it's tough, and it's not that easy, even though it looks beautiful on the outside. But the beautiful thing is when you pick it up, like when you pick that rose up, people see the beauty of the rose, but they don't see the thorns, right? Yeah, but the most amazing thing is the Lord sees both. Yeah, He sees the flower, He sees the rose, and He sees the thorn. And I just want to encourage you guys that even though the journey is not easy, but the Lord is in control and the Lord sees it all. Yep.
Amazing. We'll wait for you to put up that video on how to mix secular music with
Amen.
Yeah. Marcus, come.
Yeah, I think for me, like I really agree with what everyone say. And like I think I want to add on to one point, and something that I wish I would like have known when I was younger was like daring to fail. Like I think like as creative, you need to dare to fail, in the sense that like you don't just simply jump into a suicide mission not knowing what's going to happen. But I think it's more of like you need to dare to do stuff that may not work out, but at least you try. You need to try and try and try. How to know like I really did it was like, now I am able to sit back and watch my videos I did 5 years ago and go like, oh, my videos was very cringe. In a sense, like it kind of shows that like I have improved. Like my videos now are like my current videos are so much nicer now, and like I think it's a good sign that like okay, I'm doing better and all that. Yeah, so like I just really want to encourage everyone, you know, like apart from like knowing that, you know, you may not have enough equipment and all that to do what you want to do, but you know, just do it. You know, it's okay to fail because at least you tried. You know, if that doesn't work out, try something else. Keep trying and trying and trying. As a creative, you know, there is no original idea, there is no correct way to do it, you know. Yeah, just so ultimately just keep giving your best. And like I think like one thing like I really want to like share with every creative is that, you know, our creativity for God can act as a bridge between the secular and the sacred. Why? What I mean is like basically like we are literally the bridge between the world and like God. Yeah. So like just keep giving your best and like, you know, keep connecting with God. And like, yeah, I think your daily walk with God is really, really important. So yeah, that's just what I want to say.
Never be afraid of failure,
Yeah.
because that will lead to growth. And always remind yourself you're a bridge between the world and God. Awesome
Yes.
points. Okay. Charlene, can you wrap us up, Charlene?
Wow, that's a very challenging and tough question, but I'll do my best. For myself, I think probably if you were to ask me, I would suggest and recommend, for you guys to really find someone like a mentor to really guide you and, speak into your life, because you do not just allow anyone to speak into your life. You need to allow the right mentor, the right person, like your leaders, like circle leaders, or even peers who have been there ahead of you to speak into your life. So that's something that I would suggest, for those who are younger than us to really look into, because they've been there. They know how to guide you. They know what are the right ways to actually, pivot you into. So probably the first good step is for you to reach out to your self-group leaders whom you feel that you can actually relate to. The second thing, is really to take imperfect action. Because if you don't take action with all the grand plans, all the ideas, all the creative ideas, concepts that you have, you'll never release it. You'll never be able to share and release your gifts, your talents to the world. So if you feel like, God is asking you, is tugging your heartstring to do something, to write that song, to compose that song, even if it's just a single line, just do it, because you never know where that one line will lead to the next, and you will lead to the entire song being shared with the world. So if you feel like something is actually tugging you, is asking you to do something, then just follow that voice. It may not be very audible, but if you obey, if you obey that leading, that guidance, God is going to use that step of faith and lead you to something greater. So I recommend you to really, answer that call, be more sensitive towards the spirit, and really to take imperfect action. And also to be courageous, because like what Marcus has shared, if you were to fail, you fail fast, you fail forward. Don't be afraid to fail, because if you don't experience failure in life, you'll never understand the joy, of successes, of the sweet successes and the delights and joy that God has put in your life. So I'll say for us creative, it's really all about community. It's all about trying. It's all about, putting ourselves out there to really shine for God, with our crafts in the marketplace. Because at the end of the day, we are the cities that sets on the hill that cannot be hidden. And it is only when we put ourselves out there with our crafts and when we bless others with our gifts, with our talents, that God's name will be glorified. So I believe that is also like the heartbeat of this conference.
Man, amen. Thank you so much, Charlene. When you shared about falling, falling and failing, even if you fall and you fall forward, you're still falling towards the right direction, that God is calling. And so perfect that you summed it up, that really we just need to lean in, listen to his voice, and really just answer the call, which is really this year's theme, the call. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for everything that you shared. It's been such a wonderful time. I really hope that in the future we could get like what's it called, personal one-on-one sessions with you guys, because we do have a podcast segment where we really do in-depth interview with the person in a more of a one-on-one setting, and I hope that maybe you guys in the future could just come on to that as a guest as well to share more. But today already has been so so good. I think there were so many good takeaways from today's forum, and I'm sure that everyone that's been watching this, you guys are blessed as well. So maybe just before we go on to the next segment, maybe we could just pray and just dedicate and lift up the rest of the conference into his hands. Amen. Father, just thank you for this entire forum. Thank you for really guiding, for really bringing us together to just share, to be a part of one another's lives, and really just finding this sense of community among like-minded individuals. Thank you for the call that you've placed upon our lives as creatives. Father, I just pray for everyone that's watching, for everyone that's present. Father, I pray that really let them just begin to lean in more to your voice, begin to hear specifically what do you want them to do, what is the call upon their lives. And Father, I just pray that you just make a way for them as they speedily answer, as they speedily react to the call that you're asking them to do, to the work that you're asking them to do. Father, I just pray that there'll be equipping, that there will be provision and all the things that they need to do, all the things that they need to move towards your call. Father, I just pray that you will provide a way, because Lord, while we can make our own plans, it is you who directs our steps, oh God. So Father, I just thank you. Thank you so much for all the guests that are here. Father, I just pray a special blessing over all their individual lives. You know exactly what they need. And Father, I know that you will meet them. You'll meet those needs. You'll meet them at where they are, in whatever they need to do and whatever they need, oh Lord. So Father, I just thank you. Father, lift up the rest of the conference into your hands. In Jesus' name we pray, and all God's people say, amen. Thank you guys so much. So be sure to continue to stay with us for the rest of the conference. We've got more exciting things lined up for you. So stay here on this space and we'll see you soon.
How good was the panel, right? And now it's my favorite time. It's lunchtime. So I'll see everyone here back at 2:30 for our Zoom workshops. See ya!